In the prosperous kingdom of Ananri, Princess Adaobi, the cherished daughter of King Obinna, beamed with happiness as she shared the news of her engagement to Prince Chike with her family and the kingdom's subjects. Prince Chike, a handsome and affluent young man from the neighboring kingdom of Umunze, had won Adaobi's heart with his kindness and charm. The kingdom celebrated the union of the two kingdoms, eagerly anticipating the upcoming royal wedding. But Nneka, Adaobi's stepsister, had long harbored unreciprocated feelings for Prince Chike. Consumed by jealousy upon hearing of Adaobi's engagement to him, Nneka rushed to her wicked mother Ogechi, seeking her help, and told how she loved Prince Chike and how she wanted to end the marriage. If she, Nneka, doesn't marry him, then no one else would. Ogechi, a woman with a dark past, had once been a humble maid in the palace until she cunningly orchestrated the demise of the former queen and married King Obinna, securing her position of power. Furious that her daughter's happiness was threatened, Ogechi swore vengeance against Adaobi and Prince Chike. Fueled by her own bitter resentment and jealousy, she vowed to stop at nothing to protect her daughter's interest and maintain her hold over the kingdom. With sinister determination, Ogechi plotted to use dark magic to ensure that Adaobi's dream of marrying Prince Chike were shattered once and for all. Determined to thwart Adaobi's happiness, Queen Ogechi ventured into the forbidden depths of the evil forest where the banished witch doctor Mbavu resided. She approached the shrine of Mbavu, invoking the dark powers that dwell within it. "Great Queen of the Coast, I bring offering and seek your aid," Ogechi declared, bowing before the sinister deity. Mbavu, cloaked in shadows, regarded Ogechi with a cold gaze. "What brings you to my shrine, mortal?" In a hushed tone, Ogechi confessed her wicked intentions. "My stepdaughter seeks to marry the man my daughter loves. I beseech you to grant me a charm to stop their union." The Queen of the Coast nodded knowingly. "Fear not, for I shall grant you your request. However, heed my warning, the charm will come at a price. Should the princess defy fate and marry the man, the consequences shall be dire." Accepting the terms without hesitation, Ogechi pledged her allegiance to the dark forces. With a sinister smile, Mbavu bestowed upon her a vile potion, instructing her that only Prince Chike consume it for the charm to take effect. Armed with the forbidden potion, Ogechi returned to the kingdom, her heart filled with malice and determination to see her plans fall through. With the potion in hand, Ogechi devised a cunning plan to ensure that Prince Chike would consume it without suspicion. Utilizing her charm and influence within the palace, she orchestrated a grand banquet in honor of the impending royal wedding. Under the disguise of hospitality, Ogechi personally attended to Prince Chike, lavishing him with attention and compliments. She cunningly presented him with a special prepared dish, claiming it to be a rare delicacy reserved for esteemed guests. "Prince Chike, it will be an honor if you were to taste this dish I have prepared," Ogechi coerced, her voice dripping with false sincerity. Intrigued by her flattery and eager to indulge in the lavish feast, Prince Chike accepted the offering without hesitation. The portion concocted by Mbavu lay hidden within the delectable dishes. As Prince Chike savored the dishes, unaware of the sinister force at play, Ogechi watched with satisfaction, knowing that her wicked scheme was one step to achievement. With the potion coursing through his veins, it was only a matter of time before the prince succumbed to madness, ensuring that Adaobi's dream of marriage would be forever shattered. 3 days passed since the grand banquet, and Prince Chike returned to his palace. Adaobi came to visit him in his palace, and their hearts filled with joy and anticipation for their future together. However, as they settled into the comfort of his palace to entertain her, an ominous darkness began to descend upon the prince. Without warning, Prince Chike's demeanor shifted erratically. His once bright eyes grew wild and unfocused, his words becoming nonsensical and disjointed. Adaobi watched in horror as her beloved prince descended into madness before her very eyes. His sanity slipped away like grains of sand through her trembling fingers. Frantic with concern, Adaobi sought the counsel of the palace physicians, desperate to uncover the cause of Prince Chike's sudden affliction. Yet, despite their best efforts, they were unable to find out the cause of his madness, leaving Adaobi to grapple with despair and uncertainty. Chike's father dismissed Adaobi. "My child, go home now. We will get back to you when we find a cure, but for now, you need to be going. It's getting dark." Adaobi, with a bitter heart, left for her kingdom. Immediately she got home, Adaobi went and reported to her father what had happened to her beloved husband-to-be. Unbeknownst to Adaobi, Ogechi and Nneka looked on from the shadows, their hearts filled with malice and triumph. The wicked mother and daughter duo rejoiced in the chaos they had caused, knowing that their dark magic had succeeded in tearing apart Adaobi's dreams of happiness. Heartbroken and filled with anguish, King Obinna was left with no other choice but to cancel the royal wedding between Princess Adaobi and Prince Chike. Faced with the devastating reality of his daughter's shattered dreams and the grave implication of marrying into a family plagued by madness, the king made the difficult decision to sever ties with the prince. With a heavy heart, King Obinna summoned Adaobi to his chambers, where he delivered the solemn decree. "My dear daughter," he began, his voice heavy with sorrow, "it pained me greatly to say this, but the wedding between you and Prince Chike cannot proceed. We must seek a more suitable suitor for you, one who does not carry the burden of madness within his bloodline." Adaobi's heart ached with grief as she listened to her father's words, her dreams of happiness crumbling before her eyes. Yet, despite her anguish, she understood the gravity of the situation and resigned herself to her father's wishes, determined to honor his decree and uphold the honor of their kingdom. Meanwhile, in the kingdom of Umunze, Prince Chike's father, King Ikenna, was bewildered by his son's sudden descent into madness. Desperate to uncover the truth behind the inexplicable affliction, he called upon the most skilled healers and seers in the land, hoping to find a cure for his beloved son's ailments. However, to his dismay, the healers were powerless against the dark forces that had ensnared Prince Chike. Despite their best efforts, they were unable to penetrate the veil of Mbavu's sinister magic, leaving King Ikenna to grapple with despair and frustration as his son's sanity slipped further and further away. In the dim shadow of their chamber, Ogechi and Nneka was overjoyed in the success of their wicked machinations. With twisted smiles upon their lips, they toasted to their triumph, gloating over the devastation they had brought upon Princess Adaobi and Prince Chike. "Mother, our plan worked perfectly," Nneka exclaimed, her eyes gleaming with malice. "Adaobi's dreams lie shattered at our feet, and Prince Chike's madness is an evidence to our power." Ogechi nodded in satisfaction. Her heart swelled with pride at her daughter's cunning. "Indeed, my daughter Nneka, Mbavu had once again proven to be our greatest ally, delivering unto us the sweet taste of victory." With wicked glee, Mother and daughter plotted their next move, rejoicing in the chaos they had unleashed upon the kingdom. Filled with grief and determination, Princess Adaobi decided to go visit her grandmother in the village of Wadata to see if she could forget about Prince Chike and move on with her life. With the king's blessing, she embarked on the journey, her heart heavy with sorrow, not knowing what future awaited her without the love of her life beside her. Upon arriving at the village of Wadata, Adaobi was greeted warmly by her grandmother. Pouring out her heart, Adaobi confided in her grandmother about the tragic turn of events that had befallen her and Prince Chike. Unbeknownst to Adaobi, her grandmother is a descendant of the ancient deity known as Ikpayongo, whose power surpasses even those of Mbavu. Sensing the depth of her daughter's despair, the grandmother assured Adaobi that all hope was not lost. She told her she would consult her deity and see if there is any solution for the madness that had befallen her love, Prince Chike. As night fell and the village slept, Adaobi's grandmother communed with the powerful deity, seeking answers to the mysteries that plugged her beloved daughter's heart. In the sacred silence of the night, Ikpayongo appeared to her and illuminated the darkness. "I greet you, great and wise mother. My heart is filled with sadness at my only granddaughter's plight. We are confused as to the cause of his madness, and that is why I beseech you." Ikpayongo revealed to her that the queen was responsible for the madness that had befallen Prince Chike. She is also responsible for her daughter's death, and now she is also certain to kill your granddaughter. Enraged by the revelation of the queen's treachery and her intent to harm her granddaughter, the grandmother fury blazed like wildfire. With righteous indignation fueling her resolve, she vowed to seek justice for her deceased daughter and protect Adaobi from the queen's wicked scheme. Turning to the mighty deity Ikpayongo, the grandmother beseeched for divine intervention to thwart the queen's wicked plan and bring about retribution for her daughter's untimely demise. In the sacred presence of the deity, a plan of action began to unfold, guided by the wisdom and power of Ikpayongo. Ikpayongo told her that the only way to break the curse and make the prince sane again is only to allow Adaobi get married to him, and the queen will be met with the devastating effects of her wickedness. She thanked the deity Ikpayongo and returned home. As dawn broke over the horizon, the grandmother sent a message personally to the king to come, that Adaobi is sick. Upon receiving the urgent message from Adaobi's grandmother, King Obinna hastened to her side, his heart heavy with concern for his beloved daughter. As he arrived, the grandmother revealed the grim truth. Adaobi's sickness was not mere illness, but the sinister manifestation of the same cause that had befallen Prince Chike. Shocked and dismayed, King Obinna listened as the grandmother explained the dire consequences of the cause and the necessity to breaking it by marrying Adaobi to Prince Chike. However, the king's love for his daughter and his reluctance to see her wedded to a man afflicted with madness clouded his judgment. King Obinna adamantly rejected the grandmother's proposal. Yet, as Adaobi's desperation and anguish reached a fever pitch, she pleaded with her father, her tears flowing freely as she begged for his approval to marry Prince Chike. "I must marry Prince Chike the madman." In a heart-wrenching display of despair, Adaobi began to mimic the symptoms of madness, her actions a desperate plea for her father's understanding and acceptance. "I must marry Prince Chike the madman. I must marry Prince Chike the madman. I must marry Prince Chike the madman." Seeing his precious daughter in such distress, the king's heart softened, torn between his duty as a father and the harsh reality of their situation. As the tension mounted, the fake medicine man seized this opportunity to exploit the king's vulnerability, cunningly suggesting a secret marriage as the only solution to cure Adaobi's madness. With his own daughter now afflicted by the curse, the king reluctantly accepted the fake medicine man's plan, driven by a desperate desire to save both Adaobi and Prince Chike from their shared fates. In utmost secrecy, the arrangements for the wedding between Princess Adaobi and Prince Chike were set in motion. With the king's determination to safeguard his family's reputation and the hope of breaking the curse looming over them, preparations were made discreetly, away from prying eyes and waging tongues. Keeping the truth hidden from his wife and the rest of the palace, King Obinna ventured to the kingdom of Umunze to meet with Prince Chike's parents. With a heavy heart, yet hopeful heart, he relayed the details of the proposed secret marriage. His resolve boosted by the prospect of bringing an end to the madness that had befallen both their families. To his relief and gratitude, King Ikenna, Prince Chike's father, welcomed the news with open arms, expressing his gratitude to King Obinna for his love, support and commitment to his son's well-being, for not abandoning them in these difficult times. With a solemn understanding of their situation, the two kings fixed a date for the union, determined to see their children freed from the shackles of darkness. Disguised, King Ikenna, accompanied by his loyal friend Chizuoromu, journeyed to Adaobi's palace under the cover of secrecy. They approached the king and seek for their daughter's hand in marriage and paid for her bride price, catching the queen off guard and unprepared for their sudden arrival. With a dismissive wave of her hands, the queen regarded the disguised men with disdain, her arrogance blinding her to the true identity and intentions of her guests. In her eyes, they were merely representatives of a lesser family, unworthy of her attention or concern. Unbeknownst to the queen, however, the table had turned, and fate had delivered a twist she could never have foreseen. After paying her bride price, a date was fixed for the wedding. Amidst the joyous celebration, the wicked queen, Adaobi's stepmother, and stepsister Nneka rejoiced in their perceived victory. "I can't wait to attend this wedding, to see the wretched family Adaobi is getting married off to," said the stepsister. "Ha ha 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 ha, I know, my daughter. Those men were looking wretched and poor, from affluence to chronic poverty. Such a pity," said the mother, unaware of the storm that loomed on the horizon. As the wedding ceremony commenced at the bride's new home, the queen's facade of jubilation quickly crumbled, giving way to shock and disbelief when they arrived at Prince Chike's palace. In a moment of unbridled rage and desperation, the queen's marks of deceit fell away, revealing the depth of her sinister machination that had plagued Adaobi's life. With trembling hands and voice filled with malice, she shouted, "She can't marry Prince Chike!" The King Obinna, was confused. "What is the matter, woman? I thought my plans have succeeded. What went wrong?" Her daughter tried her best to stop her, but her wicked mother couldn't help but confess to her crimes, her words echoing through the stunning silence of the gathered crowd. "I killed the late queen," she declared, her voice ringing with chilling clarity. "I charmed the king to marry me, and I sought to end Adaobi's life to satisfy my own twisted desires, but the spirit of her mother won't let me, so I made it my goal to make sure she would never be happy. When she came announcing her marriage to Prince Chike, seeing how happy she looked, I cast Prince Chike with madness, hoping to sabotage their union and maintain my grip on power. As the wicked queen's sinister confession echoed through the air, a sudden and unforeseen twist of fate seized hold of the gatherings. With each deeming admission that passed her lips, the malevolent madness that had plucked Prince Chike surged forth, its dark hands reaching out to claim its rightful bearer. In a dance of retribution, the madness enveloped the queen, its suffocating grip consuming her with relentless ferocity. With anguished cries and wide eyes, she succumbed to the same affliction she had inflicted upon others, her mind shattered by the weight of her own wickedness. Swiftly, the palace guards sprang into action, their duty clear as they subdued the deranged queen and bound her with the unyielding chains. As she thrashed and wailed in the clutches of her madness, the truth of her crime stood as a damning testament to the consequences of her actions. With the transfer of madness from Prince Chike to the queen, the curse that had ensnared him was broken, leaving him restored to his former self, free from the shackles of insanity. Adaobi joyfully ran and embraced her beloved, and amidst the jubilant celebration, Adaobi and Prince Chike stood united, their hearts overflowing with gratitude and love. The two kings agreed to postpone the wedding because of the incident that had unfolded. After learning of his daughter's misguided loyalty to her mother and frustrated by her continued allegiance to her deranged mother and her involvement in their wicked scheme, King Obinna resolved to mete out a punishment befitting her crime. With a heavy heart, the king decreed that Nneka would be the one to take care of her deranged mother, who is now confined to the dungeon for the rest of her days, her freedom forever forfeited in the eyes of the kingdom. Though his heart ached for the loss of his daughter's innocence and the bond they once shared, the king understood that justice must be served, no matter how painful the consequences is, and besides, she is her mother, and she is in the best position to take care of her mother. As Ogechi languished in the darkness of her imprisonment, her cries echoing through the cold stone walls, she was left to the consequences of her actions, and her daughter suffers the cost of her blind devotion to her wicked mother's scheme. Adaobi and Prince Chike's long-awaited wedding day arrived in a glorious celebration of love and unity. Amidst the beautiful decoration and jubilant cheers of the people, Adaobi and Prince Chike stood at the altar, their hearts overflowing with joy and gratitude. Dressed in a beautiful attire befitting their royal status, Adaobi and Prince Chike exchanged vows of love and devotion, their promises echoing through the hollow walls of the palace, surrounded by families, friends, and well-wishers from both kingdoms. They sealed their union with a tender kiss, marking the beginning of their journey together as husband and wife.